The friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is not unknown to monstrous transformations. Rather, the web-crawling hero has been turned into a monster resembling a lot of things like a spider, lizard, and even the iconic Venom. And these transformations have led to the awakening of new powers along with iconic physical features. Today, we are listing a few of these darker moments when Spider-Man, or rather Peter Parker, transformed into a monstrous being. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin. A twisted transformation into arachnid nightmare. The Savage Spiderman issue number 1 featured the web-slinging hero going through a monstrous mutation after coming under the effect of a dangerous drug known as A+. The drug turned Spider-Man into a human-sized spider that gave him claws which are razor-sharp, 3 extra pairs of legs, and also fangs alongside a few extra eyes. But those were not the only new developments that occurred. Hot on his trail on the island of Damned, where Spider-Man alongside Baron Zemo, the creator of the drug, was being pursued by savage subjects who were also affected by A+. Spider-Man showed his new ability. Realizing that running wouldn't help anymore, using his newly formed sharp and protruding spider-like jaw, or mandible, Spider-Man created red webbing that not only captured his enemies, but allowed for a psychic link with the people he had captured. Spider-Man initially turned into a completely savage mindset, but his human side was able to take over again, helping the hero take down his enemies finally. Spider-Man struggles with 6 arms and becomes Man-Spider. The 1994 Spider-Man, the animated series, focused on Spider-Man's savage transformation in a long arc, first hinted at by Dr. Connors when he researched Spider-Man's DNA. Connors theorized that Spider-Man not only acquired spider-like powers, but is also slowly mutating into a monstrous form, though he didn't know what it was going to be. It all came to a head though when Spider-Man started experiencing immense amounts of pain, marking his transformation. Spider-Man started taking help from Dr. Mariah Crawford, whose research helped in curing her boyfriend Sergei Kravinoff's transformation into the savage Kraven the Hunter. Though she managed to find a cure for Spider-Man's mutation, she was still unsure of how much it would be of help. When Spider-Man finally took the cure, unable to handle the pain and moments of rage that came with the mutation, his mutation was accelerated and ended up giving him 4 extra arms. Spider-Man returned to Mariah Crawford to inform her of the recent development, but couldn't stay longer due to him having to search for Michael Morbius, who has also undergone mutation while experimenting with Peter's blood sample, and Spider-Man is being accused by the news of his kidnapping. The Punisher also arrives in New York City to defeat Spider-Man, believing him to be a tormentor of the innocent after being accused of Morbius's kidnapping. It was during a confrontation with the Punisher that Spider-Man's mutation completed, turning him into Man-Spider. Man-Spider had Peter's humanoid body, but with spider-like features. Peter's head mutated to resemble that of a spider, and he also acquired 6 eyes and hair all over his body. Man-Spider was also able to shoot acid-like substances from his mouth, shoot webs from all 6 of his arms without the use of web shooters, and also acquire an increased strength and agility than before. Mariah called in Sergei Kravinoff to help her find Man-Spider to administer him a cure for the mutation. Kravinoff's search made him run into the Punisher, and it was both of them working together that Man-Spider was finally able to be given a cure by Mariah to turn him back into Spider-Man. Spider-Man's unusual evolution into Spider's Man. Unlike the Peter Parker of Earth 616, the Peter of Earth 11580 had undergone a different kind of mutation. This version of Peter was not bitten by a single radioactive spider, but instead ended up being devoured by a colony of them. Though there were no traces of human Peter left, his consciousness ended up being shared by the entire colony of radioactive spiders. Under Peter's mental guidance, the spiders came together to become the hero SpiderMan. One particular side effect that occurred later on was that SpiderMan got a taste of eating human flesh, but they were able to control the hunger and not turn into a complete monster. SpiderMan was also able to use their numerous spiders to spread themselves around the multiverse, keeping a watchful eye. SpiderMan's Astonishing Self-Birth. In the Spectacular Spider-Man Volume 2, Issue number 16, Spider-Man's run-in with the villainess Spider-Queen left him with a lot more than just bruises, a bleeding nose, and a kiss. It had turned out that Queen's kiss injected Spider-Man with a virus to help her control him. In turn, it led to a full-blown transformation of Spider-Man into an actual spider, with additional limbs and eyes, totally under the Spider-Queen's control. But this was not all. Spider-Man also managed to somehow be pregnant in this mutated form. Though unable to handle the pressure of this transformation, the muted Peter Parker soon died, leaving the Spider-Queen devastated. But another shocker was in store when it turned out that the mutated Peter Parker's child was alive, and when it burst out of the spider's body, it turned out to be none other than Peter Parker himself. Talking about a complicated birth, this new Peter Parker acquired the ability to create his own organic webbing, no longer needing the help of web shooters. Many readers saw this move as an homage to the then-released Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, who also possessed the power of organic webbing. Spider-Man's terrifying transformation into a poisonous nightmare. In What If SpiderMan the Other, Peter Parker from Earth 70134 had pretty much the exact same life as his Earth 616 version until his second battle with the powerful villain Morlan that left him for dead. During the original event of this battle, Spider-Man was given the chance to be reborn by the Other, a totemic embodiment of Peter's spider powers, and he took up that chance, becoming the friendly web crawler Spider-Man once more. But in Earth 70134, Peter rejected this offer and rather killed the Other, leading to an incomplete rebirth. Peter's web under the Brooklyn Bridge was hunted down by the Venom symbiote, and for months Peter's consciousness fought with the symbiote, but it failed to keep it at bay. The symbiote completed the rebirthing process, wiping out whatever was left of Peter's consciousness and taking over the body. This new being then visited Aunt Mary and Mary Jane at the Stark Tower and revealed what had happened. When Mary Jane called this being Venom, he denounced the name, rather calling himself Poison, and offered to share his powers with Mary Jane. Though later realizing that MJ would make his life hell after getting the powers, Poison left to dig out Gwen Stacy's body and resurrect her using his symbiote powers, turning her into a creature similar to Carnage. SpiderMans Reptilian Transformation, a tale woven by Dr. Connors. In Peter Parker The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 39, Spider-Man started struggling with severe fits of rage, which led him to beat Schizo-Man to unconsciousness until the interference from Dr. Connors. Connors suspected that Spider-Man's exposure to the innovator that he had used to cure Connors in his lizard form earlier may have caused some side effects. Spider-Man didn't allow Connors to run a test, thinking it may cause him to find out that he is Peter Parker. But it all came to haunt Spider-Man when, following the fight with Schizoid Man, he fully transformed into Spider Lizard. As the Spider Lizard, he managed to terrorize New York City and garnered more than the usual negative press. However, in the end, Dr. Connors came to his rescue following Spider Lizard's trail. Connors confronted Spider Lizard and managed to pour the cure into his mouth, turning back Spider Lizard to Spider-Man all by himself. A radioactive bite, which gives him a mutant virus. Not every Peter Parker gets to become Spider-Man. Sometimes it can hit too close to reality. In Ruins number 2, Peter from Earth 9591 got bitten by the radioactive spider on which he was experimenting. But instead of granting him exceptional powers, the bite infected him with a contagious virus which would give cancer to those who got further infected. During Peter's visit to the Daily Bugle, he accidentally infected a reporter by the name of Philip Sheldon, who ended up dying of cancer. Following this, Peter started showing signs of a horrific rash that spread throughout his whole body and caused all of his hair to fall out, leading him to be quarantined in the end. Peter Parker's startling evolution into Spider-Monster. In Heroes Reborn, Peter Parker the Amazing Shutterbug, we meet other Peter who didn't become the friendly hero Spider-Man, but went on to lead a normal life with his Uncle Ben and Aunt Mary, never meeting Mary Jane. But Peter's normal life came to a stop when his Aunt Mary died in an accident caused by a fight between the hero Hyperion and Hovermaster. Peter had to drop out of university and end up taking a job as a photographer for the Daily Bugle, taking pictures of the heroes from the Squadron Supreme of America during their regular battles. But as he grew frustrated with his life, it was all about to change. Taking pictures of Hyperion freezing a swarm of annihilation bugs, Peter returned to the Bugle office where one of the bugs that escaped started attacking there. Peter, even though trying to kill the bug, got bitten by it and started transforming into a more humanoid bug-like creature, even gaining 4 extra limbs. Realizing that he will become a danger to everyone around him, he decides to jump out the window in order to kill himself, though he thankfully ended up surviving, but broke his legs, and it also turned out that the transformation was a temporary one. Evolution into the Cryptic Darkhold Spider-Man. In the Darkhold Alpha issue number 1, Dr. Doom managed to call upon the Elder God Chthon by locating the Darkhold and making his Doom bots read the book. The Scarlet Witch, realizing this, gathers Spider-Man, Blade, Wasp, Iron Man, and Black Bolt to recreate the Darkhold defenders that can help in preventing the coming of Chthon. The group start reading the Darkhold to control the realm of Chthon, but when they read too much, they start turning into monsters themselves. Spider-Man's transformation remains true to his name, giving him 6 eyes, a cape made out of his own webbing, and his hands turning into 3-fingered claws. Chilling transformation into Cannibalistic Patient Zero. Marvel Universe vs. The Punisher number 1 featured the Punisher causing an accidental release of a chemical substance known as Survivor 118, made to help human beings adapt to a post-apocalyptic environment. When it affected Spider-Man, he gained extra muscles along with his aggression getting heightened, and also started getting hungry for human flesh, due to which he ended up eating the Rhino on live television during a hockey game. Reed Richards tried to subdue him and run tests to understand his condition, but soon, with the spread of the virus, heroes as well as villains came under its effect. Ben Grimm helped Spider-Man escape, after which Spider-Man took up the name of Patient Zero and also took over New York City for his own cannibal tribe. Patient Zero faced a challenge from the King of Death, who also took his pregnant wife Mary Jane as hostage. Patient Zero finally restored to taking help from the Punisher, who was one of the only few left unaffected by the virus, and offered to not only give him names of survivors, but to also leave them alone in exchange for killing the King of Death and rescuing Mary Jane. The Punisher was successful in his mission, but when he arrived to deliver Mary Jane, he ended up shooting Patient Zero point blank, fully punishing him too. From friendly neighborhood Spider-Man to a horseman of apocalypse. Cable and Deadpool issue number 15 featured Deadpool traveling across the multiverse searching for Cable when he arrived on Earth 5701. In this universe, Earth is under Apocalypse's rule, and he has turned Spider-Man into one of the 4 horsemen known as the Pestilence, along Angel as Death, Cable as War, and Blob as Famine. Pestilence retained none of Peter's honor, and after being corrupted by Apocalypse, transforming to have 6 legs and poisoned fangs. Pestilence, along with Famine and Death, fought Deadpool, Siren, and Cannonball, but got defeated. Peter Parker never separated from Venom's symbiote. Peter Parker's worst traits were heightened during the time he was wearing the symbiote black suit, and it was even more of a challenge to take it off, following which the symbiote went on to create more villains for the web crawler out of hatred. But Spider-Man, Spider's Shadow Comics focus on what would have happened if Peter had never gotten rid of the black symbiote suit, rather slowly transforming into Venom. The suit increased Peter's aggressive and brutal nature, along with giving him a large muscular build and the iconic long, drooling Venom-like tongue. Marvelous verdict. The friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is not unknown to find himself in less than comfortable situations, sometimes even transforming into creatures beyond the control of his mind. Marvel's new stakes with the character help keep Spider-Man always unique and fresh in the reader's mind. Even creating alternate villain origins or putting Spider-Man in new situations help introduce readers to new, undiscovered, and thrilling facets of the character. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave and like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thank you, everyone.